Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, peeps and seeps, what it is, what it do. Welcome to the Mac Show, the number one podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 184. Now, if you're new to the channel, we go have absolutely everything to do with making money online, living your freest life, because what's the point of money without freedom? And then I'll show you all the little hidden strategies online that others won't for free, because this is the value channel. Now, if this is the first podcast that you've watched a car do these in podcast style format. So essentially we go over some updates that are going on in the Mac life, and then we get into a main topic. Today we're looking at our highest customer testimonial inside of the Hive, and essentially we had a member inside the Hive now that on one of his girls' accounts pulled in let me make sure I got the number correct, $256,000 in sales in 30 days. That's absolutely astronomical. Our biggest before that was 156K gross, I believe, around that. And this is 256K gross, so before the Onlyfans 20%. But that's still massively impressive. So we are going to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to go over as an agency today, okay, strategies for acquiring girls and why that is so important, and how to acquire girls, essentially. Now, some little updates to get through first. Number one, it's fucking hot today. It's absolutely humid as shit here, so I'm going to try and condense this podcast, make it a bit smaller in time, but we've still got a lot of filming to do, and today it's taken me a while to get into my swing. I don't know if you can look back, but it's already 12:26, midday. I'm normally finished all my work by 10, 11, and then I'm golden, so it is what it is. Now, I do have a proposal. I have had so many people shitting on my thumbnails, saying how shit my thumbnails are, how much work they need. So, let me put up a challenge. For those of you that are not inside the Hive already and believe you could do a better job with my thumbnails, DM me on Instagram at the Mac Life. I have been receiving many offers for this through Gmail, through everything. But we may be able to work something out in exchange for thumbnails, lifetime access to the Hive Mind. So if you believe, I've already had that offer a few times as well before. But let's see who's got the best technical ability. And let me know if you think you're up for the challenge. Send me a message through on Instagram, and you may be the Mac Life thumbnail person that carries us to a bajilly views. So that's it as well. Next thing. I'm looking for 4 to 5 models to work with still. I have a shit ton of messages there in Instagram, but I've still got the offer open. I'm going to take a few more days before I settle in for the month. Essentially, I'll be working with 4 to 5 OnlyFans creators. We'll be taking short format content of the hottest trending topics. So I'll get you to film basically 2 to 3 videos for each day in bulk. We'll have them go out over the space of a month, and I will personally handle it. It won't be a VA. I will handle everything. I'm trying to accumulate data, and essentially I'm distributing on X-rated sites where a massive amount of traffic will be driven. It'll also go on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So if you're interested in that, send me a message on Instagram. Like I said, I have a fuck ton of messages already there, but I'm still choosing who I think would be compatible with the best to work with for this month. Because on top of choosing, to help out, I'm not going to help people who I have sort of conflicting personalities with. So send me a message and I will let you know if you make the cut. That being said as well, inside the Hive Mind, we also have a Shout for Shout channel that we've been building, and I've told everyone today essentially to push it harder. Every single person that joins the Hive, we have over 700 members now inside the Hive. And think, if you go into the Shout for Shout channel and you say, hey, I need a shout out on da-da-da-da-da on my channel, can we do a Shout for Shout? Do you know how many members you could just instantly tie in for a Shout for Shout? You have promotion on 50 people's channels minimum that you could do it with. You could plug in with them straight away. You could do Shout for Shout. You can get them to boost YouTube, comment on your YouTube videos, whatever it is, you can utilize that channel. So that's also inside the Discord now in the Hive. What else? I launched the Ruski canal yesterday. So I launched the Russian channel yesterday, and our very first view on the channel, I think the first video already got 30 or 40 views, which is massive compared to what I got to start with on this channel when I used zero promotion, because I didn't really push it anywhere. I only said on Instagram to my Russian people that I have a channel. So it's already at 30 or 40 views, and on top of that, we've already got 4 subs. So she's the start of the channel. And I know this channel isn't really that big either. We've only got 6K subs. But like I said, the 6K people or the 6K subscribers of this channel, besides a few haters, are very loyal people. I have built a very loyal brand of incredible like-minded people that want to make money, live their freest life, want to learn all these strategies, OnlyFans content, OnlyFans management. You know, it's all about your niche. You don't have to worry about vanity metrics and building this big million following. Even though I'm focused on getting to 100k subs, it needs to be done correctly. I get offers so many times, say, bro, I can help you blow up your YouTube. Bro, my channel does this. Bro, my channel does that. And I say, yeah, well, show me your revenue. Show me how much money you generate, because that is a direct, correspondence between how much value you provide and how niched in your audience is. I've got people messaging me saying, bro, I could blow up your channel. I've got 100k following on this. Awesome. How much do you make a month? I make $215. $215? You're not even making what I make in AdSense revenue. In AdSense revenue, that's all of your push, all of your plugs. So we're not the same. We're not of the same caliber. Like I said, this will continue to grow. Our next milestone's 10k, which I'm hoping to hit before the end of the year. That will be a nice way to finish the year before Christmas. We've hit 10k on this YouTube channel. And then we just build over time. A daily Russian podcast as well. And then I will also, next year, I'm going to do the Russian one to make sure that I can build up to that level first, where it's consistent. And then I will also release a podcast in Spanish. Now, obviously, I speak pretty much zero Spanish, very, very minimal Spanish. I speak only the very, very basics. So, you know, I had a Spanish tutor that taught me a little bit here and there, plus I've learned a few phrases. But I'm going to launch a channel in Spanish as well, with the intention being that I will monopolize not only helping people with OnlyFans, but it'll also improve my Spanish speaking skills. And then on top of that, I will also be able to acquire an audience in a different language. So really, I'm stacking leverage in as many different ways as possible. I'm thinking, how can I leverage media, but not just leverage media? Leverage media where it's going to be the best decision financially, the best decision in the long run, the best decision in terms of value to help other people, and the best decision in terms of skill acquisition, or what skills can I acquire from that. Because, you know, before I hit before I'm 30 years old, I want to speak fluently or svobodno in Russian, Spanish, English, and most likely Thai. So we have a lot of work to get to. Let me get some water. For some reason today, I might even have to turn this down because it's just burning my fucking retinas. Let's drop that just a little bit. That's a little bit nicer, yeah? On top of that, my card should arrive Monday, the new card. Like I said, my card got skimmed, unfortunately, so I had to await a new card. It's just part of what it is. Fucking drooling everywhere. But I'll have my card arriving Monday, and then we'll be hitting Dubai first, potentially Texas, so the US. So if you're from the US, hit me up. I put this out on Instagram either yesterday or the day before and got absolutely fucking flooded with people messaging me. So the US, and I'll be working my way up the coast in the US and then across to Europe and doing all of Europe. So we have some awesome travel coming and travel plans. So it is what it is. Now this is very, very important. This actually is a very important topic, and it's on stop focusing on competition and focus on creation. And I think this is where so many people go so fucking wrong. Do you know how many dudes I have message me that say, oh bro, I've started to watch your YouTube channel. We need to collab. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I can tell it's not coming from a place of value because you don't know anything about the OnlyFans game. So the only potential gain that you're looking at is, how can I make more money for myself from this? And that doesn't mean your intentions aren't to make money for everyone, but it's not coming from a place of providing value to the people that watch the videos. It's thinking, how can I get in on this and start to make money now that there's momentum? Remember, these comments, we didn't get these sort of messages when the channel wasn't blowing up, and now it's blowing up. I expect that will happen. But on top of that, this is why I know people don't succeed long term. Everyone is focused on what they call competition. And competition could even be collaboration in ways where you're looking to grab onto other people in things you don't know about. And so you're basically focusing on, this person's making money here, how can I make? And then you niche swap, and then you niche jump. So many people niche swap, niche jump, and then they wonder why they don't succeed. It's pretty fucking simple. And you hear this talk inside of a great book or a great audio book that's on YouTube as well. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. And it talks about focusing on creation rather than competition. Whilst I know what's going on in the industry and I know what these other people are doing, and I know there's other people coming up talking about OnlyFans, they're OnlyFans, trainers, they teach you, they think they're the big source in the game. I'm the big source. But I don't pay attention. I don't look at them and think, oh, I need to do this. I need to try what they're doing. I need to do this. I already know what works. Okay, so it's focusing on creation rather than competition. When you move your mind to a place of creation rather than competition, it can't be taken from you either. That's the best bit. If you're focused on competition, remember, you're constantly a competitor. It means that what you have, someone else is competing for that and it can be taken. Where if you create, no one can take it from you. For example, there's only one Van Gogh. He can paint, do whatever the fuck he wants. People can create very similar styles. People can do almost replicas, but they're not Van Gogh. He is a creator, not a competitor. And they can try and compete in his industry and it just doesn't even compare. It doesn't translate into anything because he is a creationist. And when you really think about it metaphysically, it's our one thing that we are able to do on this planet that is absolutely amazing, is create. And when I say create, like, you can look at it from a biological standpoint. You can create a whole human being from nothing. Imagine that. There is actually nothing. There's just sperm in your balls swimming around. Like, people say this, but they don't really think about it. You can have sex and then you can create an entire human being, a conscious, sentient being. You can create that creation. You can see an empty block of land and you can create a house from that space that is nothing. And to be able to create, you have to be able to see that picture in your head first. You have to see something that isn't there. That's an incredible gift, to be able to see something that does not exist and then bring it into existence. That is incredible. And that's why, I talk about the law of attraction, but more so from the wish-washy standpoint. Think about it like physically. If you can do that, if you can imagine that a house isn't there and you can imagine what it looks like and start to draw up schematics and then put the places in pieces in order until you have exactly what was imagined in your mind, how can you not just imagine your dream life? You just imagine these things that you want and then you'll find ways to create them. So switch your mindset from the competitive mindset to the creationist mindset. Competition, don't discount it. Competition is a great way to look at where you sit in the industry when you look at data and you be pragmatic and practical with things. But the value that you bring should come from a creationist standpoint. You shouldn't operate from a place of competition, a place of scarcity. I speak to people in business, they say, well, my competitors are doing this, my competitors price like this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're so focused on their competitors, they forget to focus on themselves. And I say, why do you think your competitors are succeeding further than you? They're not focused on you, they're focused on creating. Focus on becoming a creationist. Now, let's get into the Onlyfans stuff. As I said, it's fucking muggy today. It's absolutely hot. So we're going to talk about first, the Hiver. Let's pop up here. We're at 12 minutes 30. Here is the testimonial inside the Hive. Bing. There it is. I don't know why I said bing so late. Anyway, fantastic work. And I just, like, that justifies the title of this video. So if you're wondering why we had clickbaity title, that's it right there. But we're going to talk about for agencies, acquisition, and why acquisition is so important. If you don't understand what I mean by acquisition, it's just finding models to work with. Why is finding models the most important thing? Because everything you ever want comes from finding models to work with. Think about it. If you can work with a girl who's doing nothing and build up to that point where you're making money together, and that may take time and skill and you have to learn all these things. Or imagine a girl that just comes to you and says, hey, I already make $100,000 a month. If you can handle everything, I'll give you half. Now, obviously, that's the chance of that happening is very low. But it's definitely possible. But think about, imagine the difference in scenario. You're trying to do this and build, or you have a girl that just approaches you and says, I already have this money coming in. Do you want a percentage of it? What can you do for me? What value can you provide? Can you make us more than that? What skills can you provide? What can you see that I don't see? Acquisition is by far the most important thing, and it should be a constant thing in your business. It's not, I'm going to find a model, work with her, da-da-da-da-da. You want to find a model, work with her, improve what she's got going, bring as much value as possible, collect as much data as possible. Data is so, so important. Get as much data as possible. Use that, okay, to find another model at a higher caliber. And what I mean by higher caliber is someone who's already bringing in more money or has different channels that you don't know, that you haven't learned, okay? Acquire them. See what value you can cross-pollinate now and you can bring from your previous model. Work with them, build higher. Okay, next model, boom, boom, boom. And you don't have to discard the previous models you're working with. You should reward them and say, look, you got on early while you were making barely anything and you put your trust in me. Now that I've learned how to acquire, high 6 figures, 7 figures from these other models, let's plug in those data sources with you and bring you up as well. That is how value works. However, acquisition is something you must just constantly be chasing. Now, if you're an agency that's not using YouTube yet, you are extremely slow. You need to be inside the hive mind. You need to be using it to recruit girls to work for you. And on top of that, you should be in the hive simply because of the fact that if you're referring people to the hive, the amount of money you're making in reoccurring commission is just absolutely insane. And I know that sounds like a big plug, but it's super, super easy because it's a one-off time investment. You're just creating your link and plugging it in your description, and then you're still doing the same method. You're still talking. You're still finding ways to acquire girls, showing your day in the life, showing what's happening, showing what works, showing what didn't on YouTube. Why wouldn't you just have that additional massive revenue stream? So I've talked about different ways to acquire girls because a lot of people ask me, bro, I can't get girls to work for me. I can't send messages on this platform because of my country. Look at the framework, then find a different way. Use a VPN. The whole point of business, okay, is to learn to adapt over these micro challenges, acquire strategies. Use a VPN. Okay, VPN doesn't work. What else can you use? Do you already have capital? What are your options? Could you maybe potentially move to another country for a few months or a few weeks, go on holiday until you can acquire a girl and do it from there? Why are people not willing to take risk? It's all it simply is not willing to take risk, not willing to experiment, try different things. Run paid ads to get the girls to come to approach you. That's a warm method. Okay, how about cold emailing? You can certainly email. Your email is not blocked. Yes, it's going to be harder, and you complain it's harder. Who cares? It's harder. It is what it is. The world isn't fair. It's Kantian fairness bias. We believe the world should be fair, but it's not fair. You operate with what you have available to you. If we're playing a game to the death in Texas Hold'em poker, and I get a 2 of fucking hearts and a 5 of spades, that is a horrific hand to start with. But I play with what I can. I do the best. Maybe a 3 pops out and something else, and then maybe a 4. Now I potentially have a straight on the board. And because I've seen it through, I've done what I can do best. I've played my hands. I've called where I can. I've bluffed where I can. I've done whatever I can. I've raised stakes where I can. Maybe at the end it comes through. Maybe I get the straight and I beat the person who had 2 pair. Okay, you play with the cards you are dealt. Now, hopefully you found some value in today's video. I've talked about client acquisition, basically just the importance of it, and hopefully to reiterate to you to get out there and find your fucking clients. You know how to do it. You can use TikTok ads. You can use IG outreach. And ladies, you should be using this exact same method for looking for girls to do shout for shouts with. Run ads to find other girls you can do cross promotion with. Find other girls maybe you can create content with, because cross-creating content is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. You should see the amount of models that have messaged me on Instagram saying we should create content. If I ever drop an OnlyFans, I could blow it the fuck up. So, who knows? That's also an option in the future. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hope you found some value. If you did, share it with a friend who you think would find value. Let's go, Hivers. Let's go, Mac Life. We are building up. 6.5, nearly 6.5K subs. Let's fucking go. I'll see you all at the moon. See you in the next one. Paka.